Ready for yet another argument that we need to get specific? Well, here you go. There are times where I wish that I could boil down this entire class to an app that would just every 5 seconds, whenever you sit in front of a computer, would yell, "Get specific, get specific." Well, looking at the sample paper is another good example of that. Big and broad and general ain't going to help you, but if this paper was made specific, it could really work. So let's talk about that. This essay is about tanning, but no matter what you think about the tanning industry per se, let's just see how well the argument goes. We start off with, by January 2011, the cancer had spread to both sides of her groin, her upper back, liver, and lungs. She was treated with yet another experimental drug, but again, the cancer stubbornly held on. A direct quote, which is a fine way to start off an essay. An epigram might be suitable here, but this does one of the things that an introduction is supposed to do. It definitely does paint a vivid picture, and that does hook in readers. And particularly we get an idea of just how stubborn cancer can be, and how engulfing it can be. Continues. Ashley Trenner was a loving, beautiful woman who had started regularly using tanning beds at the age of 15. At the age of 40, her family laid her to rest. Comma splice. Comma issues pop up a lot, and this is really a sentence structure issue, and it's a shame because it's a very good comparison contrast that's kind of vivid. Her only wish was to feel that she looked good in her own body, but melanoma skin cancer had another plan. It's alive! Now, yeah, I know this is an epic nitpick on my part, but words are important. Words set tone, words communicate information, and getting the wording can really be vital to getting your message across. And subjectivity in a case of an essay is very, very important. Incidentally, are you familiar with the Giant Microbes line of stuffed disease plushies? They're pretty cool. I have the Depressive Brain one myself. Anyway, teenagers and young adults are pressured by the media from every direction to look as the best versions of themselves. This version is not natural. This version is altered through the sight of the media. And there's two things of note here. This particularly focuses on teenagers and young adults as being the victims of, or at least being subject to, competing ideas, competing instructions, competing mind washes from every side. And there is certainly a truth to that, but there's a very slippery slope that lots of students end up doing, where they make it seem like teenagers, and in particular this tends to happen with papers written where the young women are the teenagers in question, seem to make them look like they have no will of their own and will do anything if their peers are doing it, or if they see it. And that's dangerous because it kind of robs the people of subjectivity. I told you subjectivity is important. We're going to come back to it. The other thing about that statement, this version is not natural. This version, comma spliced by the way, this version is altered through the sight of the media. Media is the problem there. Because the word media, communication channel through which news, entertainment, education, data, or promotional messages are disseminated, which means media means some, if not all of these, and more. If we want to get really technical, YouTube is a media. PowerPoint is a medium. A chalkboard is a medium. Are all these to blame? No, they're not. But the claim was that the media is doing something. And that's just stupidly largely broad. You can't make an argument while condemning an entire class of things, because then you have to prove that the entire class of things is actually responsible for what you're claiming. Large burdens of proof come when you have large subject matter. Intentional exposure to UV radiation through tanning beds causes damages to your skin and eyes, but the media persuades young adults to risk their health for their altered perception of beauty. This is the thesis statement. So the first question we have to ask about this is it a debate? Is this really stuff that people disagree with, that there can be possible disagreement? Well, the fact that UV light can damage your skin is pretty scientifically proven at this point. Going out and baking your skin is not good for your skin. There's not a lot of debate. Yeah, you might see some wacko who thinks that everybody should lay out in the sun all day long, but that don't make it a legitimate matter of debate. But then we have that second bit. The media persuades young adults to risk their health for their altered perception of beauty. We have the media, the big, broad, and general, and the young adults, the big, broad, and general, who will do anything the big, bad media says. Because none of this is specific, because this is all big and general, it starts to sound like a conspiracy theory. Less like something that you can prove for many reasons, mostly because it's really, really broad, but something that's just fearful. There's no escape. The media has a lot of power, but claiming it can make you do one thing kind of implies that you have no free will of your own, and that one tiny thing, media, can control you. And there's the bigger problem, and that it is so darn generic. You can get specific. Why would you try to argue with the entire media when you can pick one example that's really at the forefront, or a very obvious example, and analyze that? Making a specific argument about a specific subject will still allow you to extrapolate to the world at large, but it keeps your burden of proof manageable. And if you can come up with a specific subject, do so. I would use this as an opportunity to slam Kim Kardashian. You might think this is what Kim Kardashian looks like. Have you ever seen a picture of her without makeup? There's a lot of work being done to her. And yeah, she's probably not alone in celebrities that modify their image. Lots of people modify their whole image. But Kim Kardashian's fame is almost entirely based on how well she modifies and manipulates her image. And a large part of that is her image of being the ultimate beach girl, which implies darkened skin, skimpy clothing, and all that. Now, in case you didn't get it from those before and after pictures, her natural skin color is not the bronze-like color that you see. She gets sprayed down a lot. When I was researching this, which messed me up because I was getting Kim Kardashian ads for months after this, I ran across this follow-up slide. Enough said. And she has a professional interest in this, not only because she's built her image to look a certain way, and that's the result of her fame. They also sell the product. Bronze Perfection with a Kiss of Kardashian. And it's such a natural part of her life. Oops, Kim Kardashian revealed that she once forgot she had recently been spray tanned when she was breastfeeding North and accidentally smeared her with tan. You see, I don't care if you share my fun at poking at Kim Kardashian, but it's an example that will allow you to demonstrate everything that you would just be making large presumptions of if you went across and used the media as your subject. Specific is always better than generic. Get specific. Now, I want to be fair here. I don't really have all that much against Kim Kardashian. It's just that when I was thinking, who's an example of someone who might push the whole tanned is better image? She came to mind. Strange how that happens. Well, okay, I do have a little bit against the I'm famous for being famous thing, but that's an argument for a different point. Whether you pick Kim Kardashian or anyone else, it doesn't matter. I think there's lots of people who you could plug in with that subject. You might be interested in this big overall tanning is bad thing. Well, rather than pushing the media suggests thousands of different possibilities of subjects. You can always take your specific subject and then expand to the world at large. You can't go the other way around. So starting specific is always going to be better. And I think I will see you in the next video. Bye.